Hello guys, welcome back to this class. So today we're going to discuss about the corporate strategy. Okay, in CA intermediate we have the subject called strategic management. In that we have corporate level strategies. Okay, in that section we're going to see a little bit of portion today. So today we're going to learn about different strategies. That is, in corporate level strategy you have four main strategies actually in the corporate level. That is whether we should maintain the current momentum as such, or we're going to improvise, like we're going to grow, we're going to expand, or are you going to cut back on production, cut back on some brand, something like that. So that is called as retrenchment is like cutting back something. You're just going to stop a particular brand or sub branding, something like that. And then you might have a combination of the above said three. So you have a major வந்து பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னு சொன்னா you have, wait, I'll share the screen with you so that you can see it very clearly. So now I'm showing you what are the four different types of corporate level strategy. Corporate level is the topmost level of any company. Like for example, for Apple, okay, if you take Apple as a very whole new it's a very wholesome company, and the CEO is chartering out like I want to acquire some new company, or I want to cut back on the production, or I want to stop the production of this model. So when they do things at the top level, it is called as corporate strategy. So when we talk about corporate strategy, there are three most important strategies, and the fourth one is just a combination of the above three, or the above said three. So we have number one, which is the stability theory or stability strategy. It's like, I'm good for now, I'm good as such, so I'm just going to maintain it. So that is called as a stability. You're not going to change anything to a very phenomenal level, you're just going to maintain it. Number two, it is a growth strategy. Number three, it is retrenchment. So today we're going to concentrate full on growth strategy alone. So in some other episode, I'll talk to you about stability or retrenchment or combination. Okay. Today we are we're going to focus on growth or expansion theory. And I've told you what is retrenchment. Retrenchment is like cutting back on something, and stability is maintaining whatever you have at the present moment with its full current position. That is what stability is all about, and retrenchment is all about. And combination is like you can follow any of the above three. Like you can increase the production of watches, and you can decrease the production of a smart band. Okay, so you talk about increasing, or you talk about expanding a market in one area, and you're talking about cutting back on some other area. It is called as combination. Okay, apart from all the other three, there is stability or retrenchment or combination. We will talk in detail about these topics in separate episodes. Today, who's the hero of this episode? It is about the growth strategy. So when we talk about growth strategy, growth happens when we grow. When do you think you grow? You either become big or you become tall. You have to become fat or you become taller. So that is where growth is all about. So growth is all about expansion. Growth is all about expansion. So when we talk about growth, now we have again, this is again being subclassified into certain types. I'll show you what. So this is the most important graph. One second, I'll just do something for you. Okay. Is it visible? Okay. So this is the growth strategy. So you have two types of growth strategies, first of all. Number one is internal. Number two is external. I'll tell you what. When we talk about internal, it is like organic. Organic in the sense, whenever you want to grow, you recruit 100 more employees. Okay, you recruit some 5 researchers, or you recruit some 5 scientists, and you're developing a new product and you're launching it. You do the process like 0 to 1, A to Z. You do everything with your own resources, human resources, with your own capabilities. You do it on your own. That is called as internal. Everything is internal. From the recruitment process, like from the employees that you start, or with the research and development team, okay, from the scientist, or from the research team, analyst team, everybody is under your control. You are not outsourcing anything. That is called as growth or expansion strategy. That is 100% internal. You do everything all by yourself. That is internal. And external is something you don't have time for it. I'll tell you the best example for external growth strategy or expansion strategy. So, see, all of us know Apple, right? So Apple has a very special audio system. For example, you listen a song in some Micromax mobile or in some Vivo or Oppo or something like that. You listen to the music, same song composed by A.R. Rahman. Okay, the song is composed by A.R. Rahman. The audio is the same, but then you listen to it in Oppo phone or Vivo phone, something like that, and then you listen to the same song in Apple's audio system. Apple has a very profound music system, and that music system is special by itself because that music software is developed by two most prominent entrepreneurs, artists, or sound experts. Okay, it was developed by Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine. Okay, Jimmy. So Jimmy and Dre are the two most prominent people. Okay, who developed the audio software, which is called as Beats, Beats. So it's simply called as Beats by Dre. Dr. Dre is one of the co-founders of this Beats by Dre அப்படிங்கிற அந்த ஒரு brand. Okay, so this Beats by Dre has a enhanced bass. Like for example, you have that bass effect, more bass effect in the Apple audio software. Okay, so basically we're talking about Apple is a smartphone, or I would say it's like a lifestyle brand, where it has positioned itself primarily on smartphones or some laptops, like what iPhones, iPad, something like that. Okay, so now for Apple as a Internet of Things, so here we are living in the Internet of Things world. So for Apple, music system is a very indispensable part of its ecosystem. So if you want to sell Apple as a smartphone, like if you want to increase the sales of Apple, then it has to possess some special audio features. So of course, Apple has its own research and development team. Apple has its own music streaming platform like iMusic, iTunes, and all that. But still, Apple was lacking something. What is it? When it comes to the smartphone Jambawan, or smartphone head-on brand, Apple can concentrate more on to the research and development for all its features of the phone. For example, when it comes to the camera operability, or when it comes to all the other technical features of the smartphone, they can do it well. When it comes to music, it's a very different world apart from the how do you call the technologically supreme category. Okay, Apple is, of course, it's a supreme category in terms of know-how, in terms of its technical supremo, everything. But then when it comes to music, they lacked something. So they wanted to acquire Beats by Dre, designed by Dr. Dre and Jimmy. So these two, no, they were concentrating only on music, because the music experts, your audiophiles, they are that music pythium. Okay, who did so much of research on how people want to listen to music. Is it more of bass or is it less of bass? Okay, what kind of listening what kind of listening rhythm that the customers want? Everything was researched, pruned, developed, and it was customized, and it was also being launched by Dre and Jimmy. So now this audio software is the best in the category. For music, this Beats is the best. So now Apple wanted to acquire Beats, so that Beats will bring all its supremacy, all its wonderful state-of-the-art technology into Apple. Now Apple is a very big company by itself, but then it knew better back in 2014. It knew better that it cannot create an audio software, okay, like that of Beats, because Beats was developed back in 28, like in 2008. Okay, they developed Beats was developed by two artists, sound experts. They are also entrepreneurs. They developed that audio software. So Apple cannot match with them, because Apple is predominantly, they are a smartphone maker. They are not like they are not like music experts. So they felt that it's better to that it is better to acquire Beats by Dre into the Apple ecosystem, so that Apple can give its own set of customers the top level or top notch in everything. When it comes to music, it's best, because every Apple smartphone or every Apple smart gadget has the audio system which is created by Beats. So now the best of the music is Beats, the best of the technology, there is the best of the smartphone is Apple. Now these two brands are coming into partnership, or Apple is acquiring Beats by Dre. So this is called as expansion. You're growing, you're expanding, but then your expansion is through acquisition, because you did not develop Beats, you did not know their software, you did not have that kind of time, that kind of expertise, that kind of exclusive resources to come up with a software that like that of Beats. If you were able to, you would not have acquired Beats, right? So Apple acquiring Beats is the best example for your external growth or expansion strategy. So again, this external growth is divided into two, I guess. Yes, it's M&A and strategic alliance. M&A is very simple. Apple buying the whole of Beats is called as acquisition, merger and acquisition. And when you talk about strategic alliance, it means that there are two companies and you're not going to buy the entire company. A is not going to buy B, but in fact they're going to have an alliance. For example, there are two companies and those two companies have a very higher standing capability. A cannot buy B and B cannot buy A, but they both can come into strategic alliance. So when one cannot buy the other, they come under strategic alliance. When one can buy the other out, it is called as mergers and acquisition. So the best example for external growth, or how do you call external growth or expansion strategy, is mergers and acquisitions done by Apple bought Beats by Dre. Now, actually they bought two companies, okay? And two companies are Beats by Dre, which was selling the audio, that is what, headphones, and then truly wireless headphones, like truly wireless headsets you had. So that is TWS, and the headphones category, okay? And also wireless and wire, with wire also, they were producing lots of mobile, like what, lot of headsets. So this was produced by Beats. And number two, what is that company? The company was called Beats, was the original parent company, and they had two different types of services. Number one was giving out the hardware, that is all the headphones to listen to the music. Number two was having a streaming platform, like just like Spotify, they had a company called as Beats Music. So if you subscribe to the Beats Music, you can listen to all the songs. So Beats prominently had two types of business. Business number one, basically developed by this Dre and Jimmy. What is the company? The company major, they concentrated on developing the audio software, the way in which the song has to be how do you call, the way the song sounds, more of bass, something like that, the audio software. And then slowly they also, in 2008, the Beats was launched, okay? They started to manufacture the headphones, okay? Those headphones will play the song in a very different rhythmic or sound, or I really do not know the exact vocabulary. It is like it sounds different in the Beats headset when you compare it to the other headset, because the software that is embedded in the Beats headphones is different. And in the same way, Beats also started a streaming platform where Beats Music was launched. In Beats Music, just like in Spotify, you can go and hear to any number of songs with subscription model. In the same way, Beats Music was a streaming platform where anybody can listen to the music. And of course, in Beats Music, when you listen to the music, the general launch pattern, or when you listen to some music in Spotify, or the same songs are also available in Ghana, the same songs are also available in many other platforms, right? In the same way, Beats Music was one type of company, and type two is where you get the headphones. So now, you may ask me, ma'am, Apple has acquired Beats. Now, do you think Beats has no separate existence? Of course, yes, it has a separate existence. Even now, today in India, you can go and search for Beats by Dre. Okay, Beats by Dre is a company where headphones are being launched. It's around, the prices will be around 10,000, 11,000, 12,000, something like that. The starting range is like that. So Beats is a separate company launched by two sound experts, which is taken over by Apple. So this is the best example for external takeover or external growth or expansion strategy. Okay, so when you talk about the internal strategy is where you develop everything all by yourself. Okay, you are going to develop a new product, or you're going to manufacture the new product to the new market or to the existing market. Whatever you do, you are supposed to do. You cannot buy out anybody. You cannot buy some external companies and do away with your success. You cannot do that. Okay, so basically internal strategy is more how do you call it? Internal strategy is more on what you do, what is your capability, what is your resource capability, what can you do with your own limitations and all that. Okay, so when we talk about internal, we talk about the single company's capability, resource capability and all those things. Okay, so basically we are talking about growth. Okay, I'll do a recap. We are talking about the corporate level strategies. In the corporate level, you have two different types. I mean, like 4 levels of general things. Number 1 is about the stability. Number 2 is about the growth. Number 3 is about cutting back, retrenchment. Number 4 is combination of any of the 3. Okay, now we are talking about growth in this segment. In the growth strategy, we have 2 types of growth. Number 1 is internal, number 2 is external. Okay, and so far we have discussed about the external strategy or external growth strategy, where I've talked to you about the mergers and acquisitions and the strategic alliances. So the mergers and acquisitions, I've given you the example of Apple taking over, or Apple took over Beats by Dre, D-R-E, Beats by Dre, which was a company which was launched in 2008 by 2 sound experts. Okay, Dre and Jimmy, which is taken over by Apple. Now Apple is taking over some other company which is not created by Apple. It is created by somebody else, and it is bringing Beats under the clutches of Apple in order to enhance the growth chart of Apple. So this is the best way to start off with. Okay, and when we're talking about the internal, that is what, when we're talking about this internal structure, there is internal strategic growth or expansion. We're going to talk about different companies. Like, for example, I'm going to talk to you about the odd what we call it as wearables and hearables. Hearables are called as that, headphones and all that, you call it as hearables. And wearables, a smart band, and then we talk about smart watches. These are all called as wearables. Okay, so the hearables and wearables market are being now ruled by Firebolt is a company, Noise a company, Boat audio, like what, audio devices and all that. So these are the companies using which I'm going to explain it to you about the internal growth and expansion strategy in part 2. Okay, in this episode number 1, we have talked about external. Okay, and in episode number 2, we'll be talking in detail about the internal growth strategies, which can also be called as expansion strategy. I hope you find it very useful for your revision for your exams. Okay, thank you so much. Stay tuned.